everybody, Spine Ticks Pressing here, and I've got in front of me tick number 1, and this is the cover. And in this segment, we're going to be working on leaf casting these areas right here on the cover. So let's get to it! Okay, so one of the things that I've been playing with in my mind is when this book comes together, I'm going to need this cover to be strong. I'm going to need, obviously, some leaf casting on the outside and on the inside of this cover, but I really need these areas to be very sturdy because they're going to hold the interior of the book. So I've been kind of playing in my mind with using Tengujo paper, and I have a lot of it here. And I'm going to be applying it on the inside of the cover as close as I can to that opening. Now, you might be able to see in the video that I have already taken out the rusty areas, the discolored paper, damaged paper with this tool, and I have the opening. So I'm going to be leaf casting the inside of the book and obviously the other side of the book and trying to match it up as close as I can to the cover. But I would like this to be relatively sturdy. So I've got a piece of Tengujo paper that I tore, and I kind of tore it into little pieces. And what I've sort of, I don't like how it gets kind of stringy. So what I've done is I've kind of folded it back on itself. Some of the longer ends, I don't know if you can see that carefully enough, but I just kind of fold it back on itself. And I've got this shape right here. And I'm going to use my methyl cellulose to essentially glue this piece down to the cover, just like so. So let's give it a shot. Here is my mixture of methyl cellulose that I keep in this old spaghetti pasta jar. My spaghetti sauce. And I've got some SRP paper underneath the cover in case I get a little bit of leak through. And I'm going to give this a healthy dose of methyl cellulose. I have a tendency to under apply, and I think that's a good way of doing it rather than over applying your solution. Now, once I put the Tengujo paper down, I am going to put some methyl cellulose over the paper as well. So I liked it like this. This is my positioning that I like. So now before I press it down onto the book, I'm going to just adjust it with the back of my brush like so. And now I'm just going around the edge of it and pressing it down. Get a little bit more. I'll do that off screen and just gonna dab it. The goal of this, like I said before, is to provide some fundamental strength to the opening before I leaf cast it. So I'm going to put the leaf casting over the Tengujo paper. So got that one in there. Take a look at it. Look at it from a reflection. And I see a little bit of beading up. So I'm going to take a cotton swab and try to pick up some of the excess, just dabbing it around the perimeter like so. So this serves two purposes. I'm pressing the Tengujo paper down into the methyl cellulose that's on the book, and then I'm also picking up some of the extra. All right. Now look at it. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. All right. Let's go to this side. And I'm going to take a little bit of my paper, if I can grab it. And here it is. This is a sheet of the Tengujo. And I want it to fit that little area there. So I'm going to just tear it out. And see if I can make it a little bit smaller. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just gently roll the fibers over. It's kind of making like a little folded edge. And I just like this look a little bit better than leaving the edges frayed. I feel like when the edges are frayed, they just spread out a little bit too far. All right, so this piece here, I'm going to tear off a little bit here, make it a little smaller. I'm happy with that. And now I'm just going to kind of roll the fibers in and press it. I press it into like a little fold. Roll that top piece down like so. Still got some frayed edges, but I could just go over it like so with my fingers. And kind of like the shape of that one. I feel like it's a little too long though right now. I'm going to tear off some of the top and do the same thing. And roll the fibers down. So. Alright, pretty happy with the way that looks. Let's put this piece down and let's get the methyl cellulose. I'm going to do this, get my brush wet off screen just because I don't want to drop some methyl cellulose in somewhere where it's not supposed to be. All right. Feel like I've got a lot of it on there. And I'm going to pick up my piece and apply it in such a way as to avoid the text. I don't want any of this to overlay on top of text. I like to take my brush, and I could use different tools. I could use dental tools to do this, but I just like using the wood end of the brush. I feel like it gives me a good contact. I'm going to roll the top down just a touch and add a little bit more there. Nice and moist with methyl cellulose, and I'm just going to dab And so what I'll do is I'll leave this to dry overnight and then evaluate it again. I really don't want to put a layer of the Tengujo paper on the exterior of the cover. I just don't think that's going to look good. I want to keep it on the inside so that the natural pages of the book sort of hide it a little bit. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this book has had some issues around the staple holes. So I'm not too concerned with that, with totally hiding it. But I'd like to conceal it as best I can. I'm just going to continue to go around the edge like so with the Q-tip, trying to pick up any excess solution. Okay. I'm pretty happy about that. Let's take a look at this one up here, a little bit higher. Camera. All right, I see a little bit of excess on this end, and we've picked up something, some dirt or something. So try to get that out of there. I feel like I did. Let's tap it like so. Kind of angle it in the light so I get a good view of it as it dries. And just going to dab some more in this area where I see a little bit more sheen. And there we go. Let's take a look from this side. Okay. All right, so let's cut it out. Let's take a break here, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the dried version. Come back in a few hours here to take a look at how this is dried. All right. So one of the big issues with the interior pages is that, through the leaf casting process, and you can see I've got a really nice, good match on the colors, is the overall page itself, because it got wet, got a little wavy. And so I really want to press these and get these pages as tight and flat as I can. And you can see here's an example of a really nicely done one. And I'm about to pull a couple more pages out of my press. You may recognize this press that I'm using, but you can see, look at the edges here, just really nice and crisp. You know, kind of in this area, maybe I could repress it again. But let's go over to the press and let's pull out 2 new pages and let's take a look at them. So here we are with my seal press, and I've got several of them. But this is a Seal Commercial 210, and I leave it generally at 150 degrees whenever I work on it. Now this one has a bar that has this kind of compression setting when you push it all the way down. I do not, when I press books in this, I don't ever put it to that final setting because I don't want to crush the book. I just close it gently. But this particular press here is, as you can see, are the 2 flat pages of the interior of Tick 1, and they look great. So I'm going to take them out now and put one on top of the other one, and let's bring them over to the counter. Here they are, and as you can see, as the book moves out toward the edges, the book pages look really nice and really crisp and really flat, and that's what I'm looking for. So as you can see, the leaf casting's done. I've even kind of used my little hand drill, if you want to call it that, to set some holes for the staples, but the use of the seal press to get the pages on the interior super flat has really done a remarkable job. So I'm going to work on a couple more of these pages and get them super flat before we go to the next video. And in the next video, it's going to be leaf casting the cover. And after that, put the whole book back together and it will be done. Thanks for checking out this video. Get out there, find those books, and as always, happy hunting.